Well, here we are going into week 4, Idaho State. Excited to be back at home playing this ball game this week. We've already started the preparation. Came back from Michigan on Sunday, got right back to work. So excited to get back out there.
Just in terms of this game, obviously this is finally you guys are playing the favorite teams, I guess. Just the importance of, I guess, turning the momentum in your direction if you can get the win, but that would be needed.
Well, we're not assuming anything. We got to go out there and play well. This is a game that traditionally, let's face it, UNLV struggled with this game in the past. And, we talked about that as a unit, with the coaching staff and the kids. And we need to go out and we need to keep improving and play a clean game.
One thing, you mentioned the previous struggles that UNLV's allowed those teams to kind of hang around. How important is it to get that fast start and assume control role?
Again, they're a good team. They're an improving team. I think they came into the preseason number 17. We're not overlooking them at all. We're extremely focused. And like you mentioned in the past, these aren't teams they let hang around. These are teams they let beat them. And we can't let that happen. We need to go out and we need to play a good game against a good football team. And really the focus is on ourselves. It really is. Every week I think you ask the guys, it's really, obviously you're preparing for your opponent, but your focus is on yourself. It's on you getting better, better communication, better execution on both sides of the ball and special teams. So we got to continue to improve and grow as a team.
You feel like if you keep playing the way you've been playing, you like your chances?
You know what? We've improved each and every week. I think when you look at the end results is compared to the past, we've definitely improved, and we've shown that. People that know football, you can see it right away. So we're playing hard, playing tough. Again, we're disappointed with the outcome of the last 3 weeks, but we know if we just stay the course, continue to grow, continue to play with this type of effort, you're going to see a big improvement.
What are the areas you're seeing most improvement?
Big plays on defense. We're just not giving up. Again, we give up a big 72-yard run. That's really disappointing. You see there's a couple of missed tackles that probably, at worst case should have been an 8-yard gain, but we had a couple guys bounce off. But that was it. No big pass plays. We're not giving up chunks, and we're making people earn what they get, and you saw that again. UCLA, we give up one big run. Other than that, 2 games in a row, no big pass plays. So we got to continue to grow right there. And then offensively, we've struggled. We've been a little bit outmanned up front, and I think it's been very evident the last couple of weeks. But there's not a lot of missed assignments. There's not a lot of run-throughs. There's no silly penalties and such. So we got to keep focusing on ourselves, continue to grow. But we're playing assignment sound football and we're playing hard football. We just got to get some breaks and make some big plays.
What is kind of the mindset now that you move into this one non-conference game, then you move into the conference portion of the schedule?
Well, you walk in our locker room, and the number one goal is to win the Mountain West, So, obviously, I think you've seen each and every week we've prepared and played hard, and our guys have been energetic. So, we haven't by any means discredited any of the games going into the Mountain West. However, we do want to get, some momentum going. We've played, again, 3 weeks in a row we played tough, but we're walking away with nothing. And, we want to get that momentum going. But, we play a tough Bengal team that's going to be ready to go. So, we've got to be focused to go out there and fight for a win. We've got to earn it. They're not going to give it away. So, we have to go out there and earn it and hopefully take that momentum into conference.
This guy, I guess, was the backup to Decker and JUCO. Did you ever see him before this, the quarterback?
No, I never have.
Have you watched film yet?
Yes, we have.
What do you think of him?
He's a good player. He does a good job. They chuck the ball around the yard pretty well. And that's kind of what they do. They had a change in offensive coordinator, so they're 2 games into it, and actually 3 games into it, and they're efficient. He's a good player.
For Ryan and Anthony, what are kind of something from the beginning of the season till now? You move into your 4th game. What do you guys kind of see as maybe positives in terms of like what Coach was talking about, fighting hard and progressing and moving and improving?
I think it's a totally different atmosphere. We're fighting hard every game to the end of the game, no matter what the score is, and you don't see people getting down on each other and fighting with each other. I think it's a totally different atmosphere, and we're just playing hard to the end of the game when we're not stopping, which I think is a big positive for this team.
Going off what Ryan said, we are fighting hard. Last year there was a couple games where we kind of fell off towards the end and we didn't finish the game. Now it doesn't matter how much we're down or how much we're up. We're gonna fight to the end and finish the game. So.
For both players, the experience, particularly last year in Northern Colorado, is that something you think about this week to know that you got to go out there and play them like they are a top level team?
We're not gonna take any team for granted and like think we're gonna just win the game. We got to come out there and fight and take the game and win it. They're not gonna just give it to us, as Coach Sanchez said earlier. So
We're not overlooking anybody, no matter. I mean, it doesn't matter who the team is. We're not going to overlook anybody.
Is Northern Colorado, though, a good example of why you can't overlook anyone?
I think yes, definitely. I mean, it doesn't matter what division, you can't overlook a team. I mean, you got to get ready all week during practice and get ready to play on Saturday.
Tony, in some ways, is there more pressure on a game like this? And like, no one expects you to go win at Michigan. I mean, this game,
Yeah, here's the thing, though. I mean, even in this room, talking to you guys, talking to our team at this university, we got to change the entire mindset around here. You don't come up for air until the season's over, and I don't care who we were playing this week. Our preparation for this team is no different than it was last week, and our mindset's no different, and our commitment to doing things right is absolutely no different. So, again, you prepare, you watch film, you get ready to play your opponent, but your processes and the things you do as far as, Sunday coming in and lifting and getting treatment and watching film and having that hour practice, taking the Monday off with the players using their time wisely and making sure that they watch some film on their own, that we do a good job of preparing. None of that changes from week to week. So whether it's, Idaho State this week, the following week, whoever we play, whoever we're playing, it makes no difference. So I think the guys are starting to get that. They're starting to get that we're not letting up and we're not going to come up for air. There is no exhaling until you get through the, hopefully 13, 14, 15 weeks you end up playing.
A lot of people think what's happening in the Mountain West, especially this year, is a byproduct of the Power Five just continuing to grow the margin financially, facilities. I mean, your football budget is $5.5 million a year. Michigan makes $8 to $9 million a week on a football game. You've been in it 3 games now, but you've been in it since you were hired in December. Do you, recruiting and otherwise, when we play these teams, recognize an obvious difference in a lot of things that people are saying that's why this margin continues to grow? Well,
there's no doubt that there's a big difference between the Power 5 and the non-Power 5, as people put it, when it comes to financing. I mean, it's very, very evident. Your recruiting budget's bigger. The things that you show recruits when they get there are a lot different. It allows you to recruit at a higher level. It allows you to have more depth, and you see that. And that really comes into play when you play in those big games. You're 22 and they're 22. There's little differences, but they're not huge. But then once you start getting past that, the depth really starts to kick in, and you really see that. So, however, there's been some pretty darn good teams in the last couple of years, in non-Power 5 conferences. When you looked at Boise last year and that game they played against Arizona, and again, that's a team from our conference able to go and win. And you saw Hawaii beat Colorado, week 1, and so there's definitely a discrepancy, and it's tough week in and week out, but. It is what it is. I think you have to commit as a university. You have to commit to wanting to be good, in this game of football. And, hopefully the Mountain West can grow as a conference. And, and then there's always possibilities of conference expansions, and you have to be in that conversation.
Is the Mountain West kind of ripe for the taking for you guys this year, being so down?
I'll be honest with you, it's not something that, that is the ultimate goal, but that's not something that we talk about a bunch. We talk about, our goal is to win the Mountain West. Well, how do you do that? You focus on the processes. We have to get better as a team. We haven't won a game yet. And we're 3 weeks in, and now what you look at our schedule and you look at what we've done as compared to some of our peers, you look at Oregon State and Michigan, and you look at that, and it's like, wow, okay, we're a little closer than they were in that game, and yeah, again, when you look at the whole body of work, Northern Illinois, pretty darn good team. We saw what they did against Ohio State last week. So if we just stay the course and continue to get better, take it one game, one play, one quarter at a time, we'll continue to progress, we'll continue to get better, and the end result will speak for themselves.
Quarterback, what concerns you most about Idaho State?
About Idaho State, defensively, they're going to play an odd front, and they don't blitz too much, but we have to do a good job. We have not thrown the ball well in the last couple of weeks. It's been hard to hold up with our protections. Our receivers, haven't gotten off the ball, and I know they're frustrated about it. They played some pretty good guys, so I think it's important early in the game. We're going to continue to run the football. We're going to stay committed to that, but we have to make some plays in the passing game to take some pressure off that run game, and just to generate some excitement to get our guys going again. So I know these guys are hungry and fired up, and they had a good couple days of preparation, but I think that's important to attack their secondary. And then defensively, again, if we can just eliminate that big play, we just just eliminate that big play and continue working on tackling, we're where we need to be on defense, you know. Again, I said at the beginning of the year, yardage isn't really a big concern anymore. When you look at overall stats, it really comes down to third down conversions, comes down to red zone defense, and it comes down to the elimination of big plays and creating turnovers. If we do those things, you know, that'll give us a great opportunity for a win.
You mentioned the running game. Like, did you just make probably Xavier a little bit more just to take some pressure off the other two guys?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think what you've seen, you know, in the last bunch of weeks is, you know, you go into week 1 and Whiteley's got the majority, and then, you know, then you get Campbell going a little bit. We're getting Thomas going a little bit, and they're young. They're freshmen. They're in their 4th game ever, but they're getting more and more carries, and you'll continue to see that. I thought Campbell did some really good things against Michigan.
In Lexington, are you still trying to kind of figure out how to use him?
No, not really. I mean, you've seen it. I mean, he's gotten 4 to 5 carries a game. You know, he's gotten some of those jet sweeps, a couple of zones inside, and really it's just running back by committee and developing those guys to be confident. And they're getting better in the pass protection. That's one of the biggest things, you know, can't reiterate that enough. Until you can be a quality pass pro guy, it's hard to put a guy in the game, and they're both starting to do a good job with that.
A lot of people think, back to the Power Fives, a lot of people think because of the injuries early this year and last year, that there will be a much stronger push to go to 95. Is it too simple to say if they went to 95, it would really, really hurt you? Because kids would say, you know what, I could go to the Pac-12 if I could. Or do you believe you can use it as an advantage if you got 10?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I mean, there's pros and cons. I don't think there's a necessity to go to 95. I mean, you look at the NFL and they're in they suit up 47, right? I don't think there's a necessity for it. But if it provides 10 more opportunities for young men to access a college education, then I'm all for it. I mean, you know, when you look at, I mean, I think that college sports in general has had more impact on social change in America than any one other thing. I mean, you think about the amount of young men that have gotten an opportunity to, young men and women, got a chance to go and play at the collegiate level and learn how to compete and be part of a family and get a degree and then go back to their communities and you know, provide some more stability. I think that's a great thing. So do I want to see USC get 10 more opportunities along with the rest of the Pac-12? The answer is no. But if it provides opportunities for young men to go to college, I'm all for it.
Because they're saying this year that it's really underlines, there's a push within that because there's so many kids are getting hurt, and they're saying, well, just add 10 and, you know, add to the depth. Not that they don't have depth already, but they always want more.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's one of those things where, you know, you're always looking for some advantage, some way to kind of, you know, yeah. I mean, I'm not really concerned about that. We'll see what they end up doing. Obviously, that'll be something that everyone will have to vote on. But oh yeah, big time. Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, and but there's, you know, again, when you look at the amount of teams that even when I was growing up that played collegiate football that don't exist anymore, especially on the West, you know, there's a lot of young men that don't have an opportunity to play college sports. So there's pros and cons.
You've had to play so much 4-2-5. Is it hurt you as far as not getting talent in the field more often than you'd like?
No, I mean, you know, he's getting out there, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's a competitive deal, and, you know, he got beat out in the first couple of weeks, and that's why he wasn't on the field, you know, and he's continued to getting better, but, you know, with Lee out this game, he'll be in there quite a bit more, and he's a really talented guy. He just got to learn how to work every single day. So we got full faith in him, and he's still a young guy, and, you know, he's getting better.
So he's going to take Lee's spot this week, then?
Yes.
What's Lee's injury?
He's got a knee, so we'll see. It looks like he will have a surgery on Thursday, and we will find out how long he'll be out.
Okay, so you no idea right now?
No.
Everybody else okay? I mean,
Yeah, everyone else is okay. Again, we got Nick Estrain back on the offensive line, so he just got done serving a 3-game suspension, but he's a returning starter, and we need some help, you know, up front, some depth, and he'll come on in, and we'll see him. We haven't given him the nod yet as a starter, but he will play half a game, and he may very well start. That'll be big. And then Jeremiah Valoga as a defensive end, and he's one of the more athletic guys we have on this team, so he'll be back this week.
So it'd be either Estrain or Lopez, right?
Yes, and Lopez will continue to play. That's the biggest thing is we haven't really been able to use a rotation up front. Our guys have played quite a few snaps.
If you had to look at the beginning of the season and you look at the schedule, these first 3 games, and then you see Idaho for the rest of the conference, now that you're heading into that, is there any kind of maybe surprises, any kind of like, wow, I didn't think we'd be here, I thought we'd be here, I think we're here, we're not?
No, it's a fair question. When I look, again, when you come in and, you put your coaching hat on, you're just, you're tunnel vision, million miles an hour, right? When you first looked at the schedule, I mean, let's face it, Northern Illinois, UCLA, Michigan. I think we did much better than anybody assumed or thought we would have, being able to stay in those games, playing against other people's starters all the way deep into 4, 5, 3 minutes left in the games, having opportunities. So we did a lot of things that were quality that allowed us to grow and build confidence as a team. When you're sitting down and you come back in on Sunday night and you're watching games and you're seeing your team have success and force people into long down and distance situations and getting fourth down stops and getting off the field, not giving up big plays, and when you're seeing those things, you grow in confidence. And I think our boys are getting more confident. Again, there's a disappointment there because they're competitors, but there's also been some confidence building up to this point. So again, we got to go out and we want to feel good about how hard we work, because let me tell you, there's nobody working harder than us right now. And I want it for our guys. They deserve this opportunity to go out and to experience success. And it's not just a one-time deal. We want to go out and play well and earn a victory and feel good about that going into that next week.
For the players, just how important would it be to get a win this week and get that feeling of we're, especially going into the conference play?
To get a win, we'll get rolling. We'll get a dub. We'll get our first dub of the season. So that'd be a big thing for our team. Get us rolling.
It'd give us a little momentum going into conference too. So it'd be nice. It'd be awesome to get a win this week.
I think you've seen the genuine disappointment in the guys too, and I think that says a lot about who these guys are, because if any of you guys had talked to any of these guys on the team before we played any game this year, I don't think their answers were any different. They truly went into each game believing they had an opportunity to go win, and that says a lot about these guys.
Other than talking about like if and what happens if, big win, so on and so forth, is everybody chomping at the bit? Is there an anticipation, like you can feel it, and when it happens, it's going to be, you're going to make a statement? Is it right there for all three, that victory?
It is right there. Every game is right there. You just got to make the right decisions, execute, do the things you got to do to win the game.
I would say the same thing. I mean, it's right in front of us, and we just got to fix little things, and then we're right there in all those games. So definitely.
Tony, do you feel that
Yeah.
anticipation of the guys?
Yeah, I'm excited about this group. It's just I can't tell you how much I appreciate how fast they bought in, how hard they've worked, and the things they've changed and done better. And it's exciting. And I know that once they taste it, they're not going to want to let it go. I mean, that's one hell of a sweet taste, And we're excited about going out and getting a win, and we have been the entire year, And the whole thing is getting people to stay the course. Again, at the collegiate level, I haven't done this, but I've turned programs around before. First job I ever had was a team that had never won a playoff game in 36, 37 years, whatever. And once we understood how to work, and once we understood the culture and how things don't change, we took off. My last job, you walked into a Gorman team that had just lost 58 to whatever to a Palo Verde team, 58-14, and they had a bunch of quality guys, but teaching them how to work and how to do things right and how to grind and focus on the process. That's what we're doing here, and we got quality kids, we have quality coaches. We're doing a lot of things at a high level, and I know that once we kind of taste that, once the guys have that little bit of success, it's something that's going to be infectious. It's something that you want more of, and they'll continue to work. Nothing's guaranteed. I mean, we have some battles and some brawls that continue to go through the rest of the year, but I know our guys are committed to staying the course and staying through the fight.
How close to Philip to coming back?
We're hoping he's going to get the boot off next week, it looks like. We're hoping that sometime after the bye week, probably week 6 or week 7, we'll get him back.